my knees and begged you not to leave because I'd go berserk. You left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. You thought it was a joke, and so you laughed and laughed when I had said that losing you would make me flip my lid. Right? You know you laughed, I heard you laughed. You laughed and laughed and laughed, and then you left. But now you know I'm utterly mad. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. I cooked your food and cleaned your house, and this is how you pay me back for all my kind and selfish loving deeds? Huh? Well, you just wait, they'll find you yet, and when they do, they'll put you in the ASPCA, you mangy mutt. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for joining me on this episode. We are talking tonight about pathological liars and psychotic internet stalkers. And I'm going to use one person as an example because I want to talk about this one time and one time only, and I'm not talking about it anymore because, frankly, I'm tired of dealing with this ridiculousness, this childish behavior from this individual, and the entire ordeal is ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you the truth because that's what I do. I don't lie to people on my show. I don't need to, unlike Debbie Daly. And I'm going to tell you exactly why everyone hates her. And I'm going to tell you exactly why she is psychotic. And she is a liar, a pathological liar, and a bit of a sociopath as well. Probably not all the way, but she's on her way there. So this is the true story. And for those of you who are so interested and intrigued as to why people hate her so much and why we, her quote-unquote hate group, despise her, you will know why after this. So when it comes to me, and I'm only talking about my own experience here. I've spoken about it before. I'll briefly reiterate. As I've said before, I was previously on Blog Talk Radio. And on Blog Talk Radio, I had been incredibly... I'd been on there for 3 years. And during that 3-year time period, I had been called many, many names, from faggot to a muncher, to many other names as well, but those two specifically were called by Debbie Daly many, many times because she doesn't like gay people, despite what she says. And she also would stalk me. She would come into my chat room and how did I say this? She would abusively, verbally vomit things in my chat room about me and how horrible of a person I am, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I would have to block her on Blog Talk Radio. You'd have to block them every time you had a show, and they were blocked for 24 hours from your show chat room. And Blog Talk Radio was much more interactive that way. And so, and then after I'd gone to her chat room one time to hear her show, and I had said literally nothing. I was talking to someone else in the chat room, not even about her. She kicked me out of the chat room, calling me. She said to get the fuck out of my room, you faggoty ass faggot, and blocked me. And then she proceeded to continue to call me names such as that. and began to stalk me on my website, offlimitshow.com. And on offlimitshow.com, she would continually post things on my webpage, and I have evidence of this, and they're posted on my webpage, where she would continue to post things, calling me names, faggot, butt muncher, whatever, and say how much better she is than me, blah, 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 that kind of bullshit. And she would just do this on her own volition, even if I didn't say a word about the woman. And the fact is, I was friends with Desert Rose and with Todd Morris, and we were all friends, and we were friends that had nothing to do with her. And yet because of my association with them, she would continue to come at me over and over and over again, and would continue to harass me, literally harass me. And so it got to the point where wherever I was on Blog Talk Radio, or even on the internet, whether it was Twitter or whatever, she would harass me. Okay. And so I took the high road for as long as I could. And finally I had enough. And so I reacted, and I began to respond to her, the horrible things she was saying to me, calling me names and faggot this, faggot that, whatever she was saying. It was a bazillion different things. And this is all documented on Twitter and documented on Blog Talk Radio, and screenshots that I have. Also in emails she sent me directly, as well as on my website posts. She's even gone as far as going to my website as posting as other people, as posting as Alan Levy, who's the CEO of Blog Talk Radio, and pretending like he had said these, called me a faggot and other things. And the reason I know this was her is because I had her IP address. Every time she would come to my site, it was the same IP address and the same person, and she lives in Rockwall, Texas. And she did then, and she still does, even though she says she doesn't. She does. Anyway, so because of this, I reported her to Blog Talk Radio, and they wouldn't do anything because she was in cahoots with them, and she's friends with them or whatever. She knows them or something. And so they wouldn't do anything. Plus, Blog Talk Radio is very racist and also very homophobic, very conservative, right-wing Republican type of an individual or station. And so as a result of that, they refused to do anything about her. And it wasn't just me, though. I mean, there's many people who complained about her. Many people complained about her. She did the same thing. She harassed people on her show, off of her show, in chat rooms. She would use different names and act as different people. But the IP address doesn't lie. So she continued to do this over and over and over again. And she did this because, one, she has a problem and she is psychotic. And two, because she honestly needs the attention and the drama to fuel her show. Without that, she hasn't got a show. And without that, she doesn't have any sort of anything really. She really did her entire life, actually. And so over time, this continued to escalate, this back and forth between the two of us, back and forth. And really, it was more kind of a roundabout thing, because I would post comic strips that I'd done about her and making fun of her whenever she would say things about me and call me names on the shows, etc., her show or whatever. And so I'd respond through comic strips in a fun way. And so eventually I'd had enough. And so over time, so what I decided to do was to leave Blog Talk Radio, because I said, well, look, this is ridiculous. I don't like Blog Talk Radio. There are other alternatives that are a lot better than Blog Talk Radio, like Spreaker, which I had been on for about 2 years at the time. I just didn't use it that often. And so I decided to come over to Spreaker. And I told my friend Desert Rose, and I told my friend Todd Morris, and I told Goofy Bone and some other people about Spreaker and how great it was. And then I was leaving Blog Talk Radio for Spreaker because it was a better platform, and because I didn't want to have to deal with stupid, dumb cunt Debbie Daly, who was a horrible individual. And maybe she would leave me alone if I wasn't on Blog Talk Radio anymore, because that was her place, right? So I came over to Spreaker.com, started my show up here, loved it, great, wonderful, terrific, whatever, and didn't look back at BTR. What happens 2 days later after I join on Spreaker? She comes to Spreaker. Now, she claims that she'd already had an account, which could be true. However, her account had not been active in years, and until I came over here. and until Desert Rose decided to leave Blog Talk Radio, and Todd Morris and Goofy Bone. Then she decided to come over to Spreaker. And so once she got here, she began to do everything she could to spread lies, and that's all she does is know how to lie, and rumors, and try to head off at, as much as she could, to be the first person to say negative things about all of us, and to try to turn people against us on our own shows. So this woman refused to stop, and she was talking about me on my show, whatever. And then she says on one show, she says, "Well, I just have to tell you what just dropped in my lap. It's Iconoclast's docs." And so what docs is, I love this word docs, is your true identity. Now, I've never hidden my true identity because I've never had anything to hide. I've never hidden where I live. I've never hidden or lied about where I live. I've never hidden or lied about who I am or what I do for a living. I am exactly who I've always said I was. However, she is not. And so someone who is trying to, be deceitful as she is going to think everybody else is the same way. And so she finds out where I live. She finds out my address. She finds out, whatever, my real last name, whatever. And she thinks she's found this great information. And I'm like, okay. And she's found the information that I've never been ever trying to hide from anyone. It wasn't anything I volunteered on the internet, but if someone found it out, it always said it wasn't a big deal, because you just have to type in my name and I'm everywhere on the internet. All of my businesses and where I live and everything's there. So it wasn't an inconvenience to me, and didn't harm me in any way whatsoever. But for her, she felt it was some kind of victory. And so turnabout is fair play, as I've always said. So what do? I found out where she lives. And why do I find out where she lives? Well, I find out where she lives because I'm going to send her a cease and desist letter. The cease and desist letter instructs her not to mention my name on the internet, not to mention where I live, not to mention anything about me to anyone else. And the attorney I hired specifically for this task, not for anything else, just for this task. That's it. So I hired a private investigator. I did find out where she lives, and I verified that where she lives is exactly where I thought she lived, which is Rockwall, Texas. And I did verify that she does live in the house that I thought she lived in the PI gave me the address, and I verified through him. I've never seen it in person. I've only seen it on pictures I've received from the private investigator and online, that she actually lives in this house. And so I have proof that she lives there, and she does not live in Frisco, Texas, like she claims to. And I proved through video, matching it through video with her daughter's, one of her accounts online, social media accounts she had, video of her daughter playing with the dogs, and she and her daughter, talking about them or whatever there at this house, matched it with the pictures of the house in the backyard. So all of these things matched up, as well as being verified in person. So despite what she says, she does live there. And so she received the letter there. She responded. She sends my attorney, apparently, I've read them, these letters saying, oh my God, you know who this person is. He's a horrible person. You don't even hear representing blah, 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 blah. And he calls me and tells me about, what she's said or whatever. He sends me the copies of the letters and everything else. And when he gets the letters, he says to me that I should know about the letters, whatever. And I said, okay, thanks. And then I'm told from someone else that she says that he apologized to her for representing me. And I asked him directly, I said, did you apologize to her for representing me? Is that true? And he said, no, I didn't, no such thing. And he laughed and he said, I've never done that. I never would do that to a client. And he said, she's just trying to get you, get your goat. And I'm like, that's what I thought. And so he says, really honestly, he says she's honestly just trying her best to get you. She has no case. And so I said, I know that. Against me, I mean. And so that was it. And so that I was done. And he did done what I had asked him to do, which was to verify that she received the letter. He did verify that. And to verify